Good morning, Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Each weekday I film these and I try to find a place to film that's got something attractive or something interesting in the background so that you've got something to pay attention to while you listen to this. This morning, however, I'm not filming from a pretty place. This morning, I'm out here with our trash cans. We keep two of them. One of them is for general garbage. Ooh, that smells. Is for general garbage. And one of them is for recycling. We try real hard not to let things go to waste. And recycling is a marvelous way to understand the story I taught yesterday in Life Group. Because of the limited frame of time, I didn't have time to get into this, so we're going to look back. If you were in Life Group yesterday, look at it in a different way. If you didn't watch it on the internet, that's fine. Let me tell you what I taught. I taught the Old Testament story of Ruth. And it's a story of tragedy, and it's a story of love, and how love triumphs tragedy, but it's also an incredible example of God as being the ultimate in recycling. Let me explain what I mean. There was a good life for this woman of Bethlehem named Naomi. She had found a wonderful, godly husband, Elimelech. She had two sons. They had fields. They had family. They had extended family. They had life. And then garbage sets in. A famine in the land causes them to use up all their financial resources. They go bust. They've got to leave. And when you left then, you didn't just leave. Totally different than today. They become refugees in the land of Moab. Moab, distasteful place. In Genesis, it's explained the Moabite people were descendants from Lot, Abraham's brother or cousin or some relative of Abraham's. Nephew, it was his nephew. Abraham's nephew, who had an incestuous relationship. And that produced the Moabites. Not real popular with the Israelites. But that's where they've got to move. And so they move. They don't have an ability to call home on weekends. They don't have an ability to FaceTime. They can't hop in the car and go back on the other side of the Dead Sea. It is a totally different existence for them in a different culture with different people in a different foreign land. Garbage. And what happens over there? The two sons of Naomi buy into a relationship with foreign women. They both marry Moabite daughters. The garbage isn't over. Elimelech dies, Naomi's husband, dead, in the foreign land. Can't put him in the family cemetery. Not only does he die, both of her sons die. Parents aren't supposed to have to bury sons. Children are supposed to bury their parents. So all of this tragedy strikes. All of this garbage happens. And then is an opportunity for Naomi to return home, and she does so. One of her daughter-in-laws goes with her, Ruth. Ruth falls in love with Boaz, a distant relative. And the love story begins, and Boaz takes care of Ruth, and Boaz takes care of Naomi, and Boaz marries Ruth, and they have a son that Naomi gets to care of in her old age. And what's more, that son, Obed, has his own son, Jesse, grandson for Naomi. And Jesse has a son, David, as in King David. King David, of course, is directly in the lineage of Jesus the Messiah. So think about the way God recycled all of that garbage. I'm not saying God caused that garbage. It's not right to say God caused it. But God doesn't leave any tragedy in our life in the garbage bin. He puts it in the recycling bin and he uses it for his good. There could be no clearer example than the way all of that garbage happened to ultimately produce for us the lineage for the Messiah. It's an awesome God. So I want you to think about that, because you've probably got garbage in your life. You've got things happening that you would never choose. Yet the assurance of Scripture is God, the ultimate in recycling, will take whatever is garbage in your life and use it for His good purposes, which means ultimately for the good purposes of His children. So there's nothing that happens that's beyond God's ability to redeem for good in your life and mine, and that is your video thought for the day.